You think you're moving your arms fast enough, but you're not. You think you're maintaining your speed by pushing into the ground, but you're not. And you're probably spending way too much time leaning for the line and trying to win every race versus running through and seeing what you really got. So you're looking for the method. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to my channel. And happy Halloween, everybody. Yes. Happy Halloween. See ya, Michael. I've had a little bit too much fun with this Halloween mask. Michael Myers, hell of a story, by the way. Welcome, everyone. This is Coach Show, your Lululemon ambassador, coming to you with another video. This is the 6-7 method. We're loving this kind of trend that's going on these days, and I just wanted to play into it as it really pertains to what I think is a really important threshold in sprinting. Whether high school or college, 6.7 seconds can represent different things for you. I'll start with high school kids. As a high schooler, to get to a national final comfortably, you're gonna need to be under 6.8 seconds. So in that semifinal, when it's top two next to, being in that top two is gonna require you to run 680 something or faster. I don't know if I've seen, and I've studied a lot of these national finals, I don't think I've seen a meet where 6.7 doesn't get you in. 6.7 something doesn't get you in. 6.8 is really the cutoff, 681, 682 sometimes, but if you want to be comfortably in, 6.7 is where you really need to be. 6.7 is also a really recruitable number. A lot of kids go 6.8. I've had multiple kids go 6.8 seconds, and recruiting was kind of lukewarm for them. But 6.7 allows you to get a little bit more recruitment if it's paired with improved times in the 2 and or the 400 or your hurdles or your jumps. 6.7 shows that you can really get up to speed. You can really transition, you can really accelerate, and you like to compete. For college athletes, especially you that are maybe in your first or second year of college, and you're looking to get onto the podium, or you're trying to just build your overall portfolio as a sprinter, getting to a PR of 670 something is going to be massive. It might help you transfer if that's your goal. It might put you on the record books if that's your goal as well. So we're looking at things that are really important to us from different perspectives, and they're all achievable. This video is really for athletes that are certainly sub 7. You got to be preferably like 691 to 695, somewhere in that range is really going to benefit you the most if you're trying to get into the 6.7s, like 678, 676, somewhere in that range. The jumps can be bigger than that. I've had an athlete, which we'll talk about, he ran 685 and then he went 668. So the jumps are, don't let me limit you, right? You can still improve how you need to improve. And I just want to give you guys the method on data, evidence, things I've collected over the last couple of years that have helped 4 young men that have worked with me achieve this number. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right into this thing. I'm gonna give you guys the method up first. So it's not gonna be specific to any of the kids. So if you wanna jump off the video at that point, that's fine by me. But afterwards, if you're serious about this, I'm gonna break down each of the 4 athletes, their races that they ran it, things, a little bit about them that helped them improve to get to the times. You heard it? Things that help them improve to get to that 670 something time, and If you guys have any questions or anything, please drop them in the comments, message me on social media, all that good stuff. All right, so let's get right to this thing. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Let's roll. From my experience, there's two ways to run a 670 something time. You're gonna need turnover, the ability to sprint, the ability to race. If you're not naturally fast, it's going to be more challenging for you. Again, if your PR is in 6'9" low to 6 mid or faster, then you have some type of speed, all right? You got something to work on. If you're trying to go from 7'1" or 7'2" to 6'7", maybe. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe. So you're going to need some speed, which if your PR is in this range, you have something. So the athletes that I've worked with, they kind of fall into two buckets. The first bucket, they're the blast out the blocks kind of guy. Powerful, they got good strength, all that. Then there's the top end demons. They'll hawk you down type of speed. You know those guys. I'm sure we've all raced them. Maybe that's you. What I've seen here and what I've seen here is you don't necessarily need to merge them. Some of them have qualities of both. The top end guy has to be at least decent up the blocks. And the block bully needs to have at least decent upright running mechanics. They can't completely fall apart. So with that being said, I want you to think about which bucket you fall into. I'm going to talk a little bit about both, but the method to running 6'7", being the block bully, if you cannot clean 225, I don't think you have enough strength necessary or power necessary to run 670 something as a personal best. Again, if you put yourself into this bucket of being the block bully, ideally, I would want the person that I'm working with to be able to squat 365 or more. 365, 225, at a minimum, 225 with ease is going to be necessary. You're also going to need a box jump of 60 inches. When all the boxes are stacked at our gym, we got 60 inches worth of boxes. If you can jump that, I think you have enough power to run fast. Without it, it's hard to create that separation and to exert yourself to the ground the way that you need to run fast. Mentality for both, really. But mentality for the block start person is no one dares to run with me. At practice, you are head and shoulders above everybody else. There is no competition. You got to be that good unless you're in a competitive team, obviously. That's another factor. But if you're trying to gauge how strong you are as a block starter, how many people, if they got 10 reps to race you, how many times are they beating you? They might get one, but that's because you were tying your shoe. Other than that, they can never see you. That's the kind of dominance you need to be at the blocks. And if you're not that, then maybe you're not the block bully that you think you are. Okay? On the other side is our top end demon. This person, again, hawk them down speed. They might not be the first one out the blocks, but they're close. And especially a race like the 60 where it's so short, they don't give up. And they're going to get you at the line if they don't get you just a little before that. The 60 is a very difficult race. One or two mistakes, you're for sure out of it. One mistake, you could probably find your way back, depending on how strong you are and how good of an athlete you are. These top end guys, they don't necessarily make mistakes at the blocks. They're just not as strong. They're not putting as much force to the blocks. But when they get moving, they're clipping you. They're getting down to the ground and they're running you down. This person easily goes sub 9.2 in a fly 10. This person also goes easily sub 2.95 in a fly 30. So sub 0.92, so 0.91 seconds or faster in a fly 10. That's really for accuracy. And 294 or faster, sub 295 or faster in the fly 30. We've had athletes on our Woodway curve machine, both pockets of athletes, the starter and the top end demons, are over 18 miles per hour, but close to this group is a little bit faster, running about 18.5, 18.6. This group's probably closer to 18.3, 18.4. Still being able to get up to speed though. So if you have a treadmill that can track your miles per hour, shoot for that number. If you're able to be over 18, at least you're close. 18.5 is really where I want you to be. That's the method for this group. Maybe not the method. Maybe is that the wrong word I'm using? These are requirements. These are the requirements for these groups, okay? The method to running 6-7 comes from having these things checked off, having the mentality as well. I didn't talk about mentality with this group. Having the mentality that no matter how much space I'm back or I'm losing, I'm going to close it. Or no matter how much space I'm ahead, I'm going to extend it. Technique is not as big a factor as we think. Now, people that get a lot of good coaching, I coach my athletes to be technically sound as well. It's good habits, good principles to have to minimize injury and maximize performance. Don't get me wrong. However, being able to run fast doesn't mean you have to be the most technically sound person. And to run 6-7, you don't need to be the most technically sound person. I've seen many athletes run 6-6 even, and it's really just about their ability to get on and off the ground. Your ability as a sprinter to express your turnover is going to help you greatly in this. You can have a lot of stride length, but if you don't have the turnover to go with it, it means nothing. So here's the method now. Now we have our requirements. Here's the method to actually running 6-7. Number one, I want you to feel like you're launching yourself off the blocks. If you feel like you're pushing and you run 6-9, either you are and something's happening late race, which we'll talk about, or you're not pushing enough on the pedals. So this first key, guys, I want you to think about launching yourself forward. If your body's not going out as much as it can versus up, you're never going to really achieve this time. Why this matters is in the first 10 meters, most people are taking the same amount of steps. Most people are taking the same length of stride, give or take. But where people start to separate is how fast they get to 10 meters. The faster you can get to 10 meters, the better. In 2022, at the New Balance indoor meet in New York, there's data on this, and I think I'll be able to include a screenshot. Only one young man did not break 6'8" to get into that final. Shout out to Eddie Vu. Everybody else in that final ran 6:79 or faster. In the final, the slowest time through 10 was, I believe, 2:09. So what I'm trying to get at is, as you guys are looking to find that first piece of running 6-7, you need to be violent off the pedals. You got to be quick with your feet. You got to be powerful with your push, because you're likely not powerful or fast enough through 10. Give me more arms off the ground. What's going to help you from the set position is to start running from the ground. If you wait to lift your body and your arms to rise because you're pushing up because it feels safe, you're wasting critical time. To run 6-7, you got to get everything out of the start as much as you can, especially if you identify yourself as a block bully. This is your part of the race to shine. You're trying to create as much distance. For those of you that are familiar with basketball terms, create separation, right? As a ball handler, I have a defender in front of me. I want to get to the rim. I need to get away from the defender. Or I'm trying to get a shot off. I'm trying to get away from the defender. You wouldn't just do, like James Harden doesn't do his sidestep and just take a couple short shuffles and the defender's long arms can get there. No, there's a big enough push away from the defender or backwards, right? That could be a travel. That's another conversation for another day. But there's enough push and separation that the opponent can do nothing about it. Same thing here with the 60. When I put my foot into the ground, when I push off the pedals, my competitors can do nothing about it. That's the violence. That's the extension. That's the push that you need off the blocks. The second part, although the blocks are gone, the ground is not. You got to be able to spend time pushing the ground away. Again, this is paired up with turnover. You got to get these feet moving. So point 2 would be continue pushing violently with increased arm swing. If your arms are not swinging hard enough and violently enough and fast enough, your legs are not going to. And if I really want these legs to be moving quick, I need to exhaust myself by how fast and violently I'm moving my arms. The goal of the 60 is to get to top speed quickly. Some coaches even coach the 60 differently than the 100. I don't have that luxury. I'm trying to coach you for the 100 and we're running 60-meter dashes instead inside. But I'm not constructing a race plan for the 60. If you're good enough of an athlete to adjust your race plan for the 60 than you do for the 100, then go for it. Consult with your coach and go for it. However, most people keep the same model for the 60 and the 100. And the goal of the 60, although you're training for the 100, the goal of the 60 is to get to top speed quickly. You're trying to get up to speed as fast as you can. So the arms play a vital and critical role in you doing so. Being able to address the arm swing, get the arms moving so the cadence of the lower body is where it needs to be, is going to ensure that you do that. You're going to get to top speed quickly. You're trying to find as much of this race to maintain. Your maintenance is going to be you hawking people down. Your maintenance is going to be you extending the lead because most people cannot hold their top speed. They cannot hold their speed maintenance. So those are the two really important keys to the method, right? Is if you feel like you're pushing, push harder off the blocks. And as you keep pushing in the race, you're trying to get to top speed quickly, keep driving the ground away like you have been off the blocks, and move your arms like a madman. Big, aggressive, fast swings of the arm. They're going to get your feet moving, your legs moving, so you can get up to top speed quickly. You should be exhausted after the race. That's the type of intensity that you're going to need. My third key to running sub 6.8 in the 60-meter dash is to keep pushing into the ground. When you're upright and you transition from the blocks to acceleration or your drive phase and you're driving through the transition into upright running, you need to keep expressing your power to the ground. We are in a hip extension sport. Track and field, sprinting is all hip extension. When my leg is in the air, how violently can it come down to the ground? Your body is trying to counteract a couple things. You're trying to fight against the friction of the ground, gravity, all these different things. As a sprinter trying to maintain their top speed, the speed that your foot comes off the ground and the power output that you maintain with it is going to determine how quickly you get to the finish line. It's really important that we put our foot into the ground. Even as you transition to upright running to max velocity, just because you pushed out the blocks and you're pushing through the acceleration, you got to keep expressing yourself to the ground. As these arms continue to keep pumping and keep moving, keep expressing yourself to the ground. I have a great clip here from Josiah Rogers. He's one of the athletes I'll be breaking down very shortly. Listen to what he says about what changed for him in his sprinting for him to achieve the current state record of 6:68 in the 60-meter dash from a couple years ago here in Indiana.
And it's been a big emphasis in my training to like hit the ground beneath me. Because not a whole track career, but most of my track career, I was told,
10,
you gotta drive
11,
your knees.
12,
And I'm thinking
13,
like, okay,
14,
so
15.
I really didn't fully understand what that meant. So like, up till now, I've been like doing high knees down the track pretty much, and I'm not really going anywhere. It looks like I'm running fast, but I wasn't at all. So then I just took the energy I was putting in the air, in the ground instead. And then the 669 race was the race I really felt like, oh, this works. So then I'm like hitting, and I feel myself like my stride lengthening and like feeling more powerful and fast. And I running down the track and I crossed the line and I was like, I was fast. I wonder what that was.
Just like you said, a lot of us think we're pushing, but we're not. When the knee comes up, because coach wants the knees coming up, he wants high knees. When he wants that, it takes away from the force output that goes down. I have a jumps background, and what we do a lot is bounding. I'm sure some of you have experience with bounds. What they say about bounds is the knee rises to a natural stop point. I got that from Jeremy Fisher, actually. Instead of lifting the knee, if you push down hard enough, the knee will come up to a natural height. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily at parallel and you're like forcing it up, expending energy to hold it up. No. Sometimes it's just enough to work downwards and let the body extend up. Let the knee naturally come up. That's what we're looking for with sprinting. Sprinting is essentially glorified bounds. You're jumping from one leg to the other really, really, really fast. So why do we treat it any differently? If you're an athlete that spends too much time like driving your knee and trying to get them up, you're wasting valuable time that you could be using to push into the ground and apply force. And also, if your knee is coming up, it's taking away from the frequency that you're gonna need to keep sprinting. Running is done on the ground, not in the air. If this was a competition about who can accumulate the most flight time, we'd be high jumping. But we're not high jumping. We're sprinting. You need to get back to the ground. There's a point of diminishing return. Yeah, I want some flight time with my sprinting, but not that much, because I need to apply my force and keep my momentum. You can only keep your momentum when you're on the ground. My fourth key for you to run 6-7 this indoor season is to run through the freaking line. A lot of you guys, you lean and you don't practice leaning. You just start doing it in meets because you're trying to squeeze out a little bit. No. What happens with the lean? Your feet start going behind you. You lose balance and you lose time. No. Stop leaning. Run through the line. A young athlete that I worked with, Dominic Calhoun, he and I spoke about how my feedback for him was to just keep running through the line. He was racing a pretty formidable opponent a couple years ago in high school. It was going to be difficult for Dom to beat this guy out the blocks. But knowing that you're going to get him on the line means you need every single step here. Where most people would lean and start to like lose time because they really want to win the race, you keep running through and see how it positively affects you. And he went from like 683 or 684 to 674 in about 2 weeks. The jumps can be very drastic if you allow them to be. Those are my 4 keys to running 6-7 this indoor season. That's the method. That's the method I'm using with our group. And this is obviously going to be more applicable to those who have the basis to do it. So if you're watching this, as I said, if you're watching this and your PR is 689 or 688, 692, somewhere in that range, I could almost guarantee there's 2 or 3 of these things that you're not doing already. You think you're pushing out the blocks, but you're not. Your hands are coming up too high off the start line and you're wasting time in the start. You think you're pushing yourself into max velocity running, trying to get to top speed, but you're not. You think you're moving your arms fast enough, but you're not. You think you're maintaining your speed by pushing into the ground, but you're not. And you're probably spending way too much time leaning for the line and trying to win every race versus running through and seeing what you really got. I know that I'm speaking to somebody out there, and if I am, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Drop something in the comment. I need something here. Tell me if this is helpful for you guys. All right, let's break it down. I got 4 athletes that I've worked with. I'm going to go in reverse order from slowest to fastest. This is going to be a long video today. Maybe not, I don't know. The first athlete we're going to work with is Elijah Jackson. We're going to review his video. He ran for me at Lawrence Central High School here in Indiana. He's currently a redshirt sophomore on the Ball State football team. He's a running back there. One of the fastest dudes you'll see. Very quick, very strong, very explosive. He's not conventionally, like, he doesn't make it look smooth, but he's very explosive, very fast guy. We took him to New Balance Nationals in 2023. He ran a PR of 6:79 in the first round in the prelim. We were very excited. In the semifinal, he was third. Ran 6:83 and did not advance to the final. If he did what he did in the semifinal with what he did in the prelim, he would have been in. We'd have had 2 guys in that final. I'll speak about the other young man here shortly. I'm going to start with the ugly clips. All right. I'm not going to show this full video, but just know that it was ugly. All right. Technique isn't great here. Elijah worked hard for me. Wasn't the most coordinated guy in the weight room, but he figured it out and was able to express his strength. So this is him with a 225 clean. I would have loved to see his hips a little bit lower here. You can see his hips kind of shoot up. Immediately the bar starts to come up. There's no contact between his shins and his with the bar on his shins. Mind you, he's a high school kid here, so sure things got better. Things have gone better for him now that he's in college. But he's so strong. He's turned this power clean into RDL. He goes to triple extension somewhat. And he's trying to get underneath the bar. I'm not going to show the rest of the video. But if you have better clean technique than Elijah, then props to you. I take full responsibility as his coach not to make him a better cleaner than this, but we're not Olympic lifters, so I'm not going to badger it too bad. This is Elijah with, oh, there we go. Look at that. With our club team. We had weight room. It was a small group. This is him in the corner. I got to drag it slow because he wasn't the only person I was recording. But we did a lot of quarter squats as well. I didn't put that as a requirement for being able to run 6'7", but we did a lot of quarter squats. We still do them now. We use our Kaiser for them more often than not. But this is, let me see what the weight is here. Yeah, it's hard to tell from this angle. One, two, three, 315. 315 plus 150. 465. Hopefully I got that right. So he's quarter squatting 465 here. And this is all joint specific stuff, right? We are never really in this much flexion in upright running. In the blocks we would be. Definitely more flexion in the blocks. So just joint specific strength. Something that it was a little different from what he was doing with his high school football lifts or high school lifts in general. But shout out to Damien in the back working on those calves. Again, this is from 2023, guys. All right, so that's Elijah. Good strength, pretty good athlete, pretty strong. Let me show you. First, this is 679. So this is the prelim, as I said, the prelim at New Balance Nationals. Oh, we're pretty far away here. Can't even zoom it. Can I zoom it? I can't zoom it. I'm gonna play it full. So Micah Lowry, who went to Mount Verde, yeah, one of those schools in Florida. He ended up winning the heat. Elijah was second in the personal best. So it's also good to chase somebody, right? That might also be the method. Get yourself in a competitive race and chase somebody, run somebody down. Elijah was pretty hype about this personal best, and we were for him too. It's a little bit far away, but just know things that Elijah did not do well was block clearance. He was very, I'll say, clumsy. He kind of rushed out the blocks. Instead of pushing, he was so quick about getting his feet down that he could almost not push at all. He also didn't lift either. He wasn't standing up out the blocks. He had insufficient push off that back leg, and his first step hits the ground and his shin was damn near straight up, and his body was kind of hunched over too. Let me see if I can find a better angle of this one, actually. But his turnover was exquisite. No surprise why he's playing. There we go. Why he's playing collegiate football. He was at Purdue, was preferred walk-on at Purdue, jumped in the portal. Now he's on scholarship. Okay, so got Simulane 3 pink spikes. I know y'all remember those Max Flies. Just goes flat. And Micah next to him, for comparison, Micah ran maybe 660 or 659. That gun goes. Watch Micah's drive off the blocks. See the amount of pressure he applies. Boom. Extension. The extension part is easy. It's easy to coach it. But if not done right and the turnover isn't there, you're going to lead to hamstring injuries. Okay, so just be mindful. Just pushing bigger is not going to get you where you need to be. You need to have the frequency to go with it so your foot lands where it's supposed to land. So we didn't advance to the final that meet. Maybe the next week was our conference championships back in Indiana, and this is Elijah setting the conference record in the 60-meter dash. Don't blink. It happens quick. There we go. You can kind of see he had the same thing with the start. It was like he was so hunched. That it really cost him time. He really should have ran faster. Could have ran faster than that. That's on me. But you can see his arms, they're moving off the ground. He goes to that shoot position. Bang. He's moving them. He's moving his arms. Big, strong guy. And the more he's pushing, this is probably the best mechanics I ever saw from him in a race. Pushing off the ground. I don't like how that knee's pointing down. Again, technique-wise, you're not gonna run into many issues in the 60. It's just really about getting to top speed and maintaining it. But that boy would just float. You hear me? Numbers for Elijah. The week before state, so outdoor state, he won the 100. He ran a personal best of 10:54, I believe. And we did a fly test that day. He ran 295. He didn't have the best speed maintenance. He was really good at least at this time, he was really good at getting off the line, getting out, being explosive. His 0 to 30, if I tested it, would have been pretty good. And to his credit, he did become a more well-rounded sprinter, and that ultimately helped him land a football scholarship. Oh, before I even move on, before we move on, last thing here was the box jump. Look at them shaking up. I don't even think I watched this video fully. Shout out to Micah. So this is a 60-inch box jump. Let's do the math together. There we go. And everyone's hyped for him. I love that. So this box is 6 inches. This is 12. That's 18. This is 18. 18 plus 18 is 36. 36 plus the bottom one, which is 24, is 60. 36 plus 24 is 60. So it's a 60-inch box jump, 5 feet, running start. We did like elimination style this day, where look at Damien in the back, where you jump it, you move on, that kind of thing. So it was a fun thing, nice competitive environment that we had. Well, we still have, just different guys and girls now, but. So again, this is Elijah getting off the ground. And I said, he's just raw. Like, nothing he does is like sexy. You know, it's not like, oh my God, I want to emulate that. Like, he's really fast. You want to see him move. In the weight room is a different story. Like, you know, he wasn't smooth there, but certainly the athlete that you wanted to be, and had a lot of great natural abilities, super fast twitch, very muscular, and he had the desire to win. That's probably my favorite thing about him. Like, he'll do whatever it takes to win, and he always believed he could win when he toed the line. So, Dominic Calhoun. So Dom, and he only ran 6'7" something once. He ran 6'74" at the equivalent of the state meet here in Indiana is called the Hoosier State Relays. So Dom ran personal best of 680 in the prelims, and then 674, which broke the championship record in the final. Dom was not the strongest. Start again. So let me show you what this race looked like. So as you guys can see, Dom is not the most technically proficient. Sorry, he's in lane 5. Yeah, he's in lane 5. Let's start again. So Dominic Calhoun, he's in lane 5. He, as you can see, he's not the most technical guy. He's not the tallest guy. He's not the strongest guy. But he has turnover, which is really important. Again, you're not running fast no matter how much you desire it. If you don't get your feet moving, it ain't happening. You can see his arms are moving. He's working. This kid hated to lose. He hated to lose. Right? So what he lacked in like strength, he made up for in passion and desire. Okay. Weight room numbers with Dom. I don't know if I ever saw Dom power clean like over 200 pounds. I definitely didn't see him squat 315. He was strong enough for what he needed to do, which was be that 200 guy in high school. He ran the 4 as well. He was the Indo State record holder. So his personal bests are 674, 1046, 2130, and then a converted 4769 indoor. That's a pretty good resume, and that's why he's at Ohio State now. But watching this race, this is another angle of it. You can see this is him in the purple. Gets a lot of knee flexion. He doesn't land particularly tall. Kind of lets that hip drop. The knee is pointing toward the ground. So in this race, I have this written down here. In this race, he ran 674 with 33 steps. Or 34 steps, pardon me. It took him 34 steps to get through the line. For those of you that are counting your race steps, so you look at your video, use that information however you will. 34 steps to get through the line. Isamasinga, who will come back to Josiah, who's one of the athletes. He's the last athlete we'll cover here. Isamasinga ran 670, I think, with like 30 steps. So I wonder what his 657 looked like. There's video of that, so maybe we can watch that too. This is what I'm talking about running through the line. How he just kept moving. It didn't lean. He didn't wait. He didn't wait till he felt like he was losing to start panicking. No. He just kept running through. Which is what you got to do if you're going to be a top end guy. If you think your top speed is superior, you keep running. Dom had fitness for days as well. He was really well endured. Great fitness. As I said, he was 400 ready. Could run 22s in his sleep in the 2. So, and then indoor, he split 20.89 on our 4x2 relay. So he had speed. He had it all. That 6.7 was coming. It maybe took him a little longer than he wanted, but it was coming. All right. And there you go. There's the time right there. 6.74. He was not the favorite to win this race. He had lost to this young man like every race up until this point. So having that competitive mindset, as I said, guys, doesn't matter how many times this happened. Just keep stepping, keep running. All right, very good. Jalen ran 670 this past year in college. Jalen was a sophomore at the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Get all my Jalen clips up here. Where's my race? Where's that race? All right, so I got 2 race videos of Jalen, courtesy of the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Thank you, Andrew Hatch, for taking care of our guy. He has since transferred to the University of Houston. Shout out to you and Pops Carlisle for getting me this shirt while y'all were down there. I think I look pretty fly in it. I don't know. Oh man, I got my Mike Myers hair on it. It didn't mess up my swag though. It's all good. So I'm gonna show you guys a PR video that he ran. This is not it. And then I'm gonna show you guys things we did from the summer to work on helping him be his best in the 60. Okay. So this is him in lane 3. Nice high position and set. I can see his foot's kind of At least that's what it looks like from this angle. Looks like his foot's kind of floating there. So his arms are moving off the ground, but you can see he's kind of lifting. He's almost like trying to balance himself on the pads, on the pedals to get moving. Anyway, so this is 670, current personal best. I know he's going to go way faster than that this season. So Jalen didn't have the traditional block clearance or acceleration, right? A lot of people talk about like low heel recovery. Jalen was like, screw that. I'm putting my foot down. I'm going to mash up the ground, if you know what I mean. Like putting it down, big force, big pushes. And he sacrificed his feet being low to play to his strengths, which were his strengths, his power. Jalen was a big squatter. He still is a big squatter, big power clean. Sorry, I was watching the video here. So I'm going to play it full speed. How about that? And then we can get funky. Looks like he lost that, but I don't think he really cared. So this was a messy race. It was pretty messy. But he's moving his arms. He's attacking. He's putting it down. All right. I think we all get the picture at this point, right? It's like the faster the time, we're just doing one or two things, maybe a little bit better. There's not a whole lot that differentiates fast from faster. It might be strength levels, it might be fast twitch abilities, it might be a bunch of things, but just because it took Jalen to his sophomore year doesn't mean that he's any less fast than these other guys. Maybe just figuring out the race or those kind of things. So if you guys are in college watching this, don't be discouraged. Keep working. It is coming. What I would love to see, if you're a sprinter in this position, i.e. you're a little bit behind or you got off the line and you didn't really push the same way you wanted, your foot position, your shin position is always going to determine the verticality of your body. So if your shin is straight up, you're going to come up. If your shin is pushing down the track or facing toward the ground, your knee is facing down the track, and your shin is toward the ground, that's where your body's going to go too. So making sure that you feel the position of what you want. Jalen, this is something I would, if I was working with him at this time, I would have said, push out the block so you stay a little bit flatter. You can keep your shoulders lower to the ground and keep driving. It's very difficult to build your speed when you're already upright because you just want your feet to be proximal to the ground. It's not really about like the technique of it. It's just more about the physics of it. I can only express my acceleration or change my velocity when my feet are closer to the ground. And if I'm up tall like this, my foot has a longer path to get down to the ground versus like this. Let me do that again. If I'm up here, I just close the angle. All right. Otherwise, I love the arms. I love how he's attacking. Could not ask for any more intensity there. Hard to tell the end of the race, but competitive. So over the summer, we did a lot of resisted runs and just working on technique. We lost a lot of strength. This was not this past summer, the summer before. So going into the 2024-2025 season. And Jalen came home from school and he was kind of banged up. He had got hurt during his freshman year of college, and he just wanted to change. He's like, I want to be healthy. I want to run fast. So we got to work. And it was a lot of weight training, obviously, to get strong, be able to push, that kind of thing. And then making it functional with the sled. The sled was really helpful for us to identify lines of force. If you think about the sled, I like to use the sled in two different ways. So we have a traditional Excel where your shin angles are a little bit lower, that kind of thing. This is what you see here. We're on grass, it's summertime, intensity's not that high. He's in trainers. Ground contact times are a little bit longer. I don't really mind. But I want him to feel the weight behind him. Pull that sled, make it bounce off the ground. That's how aggressive I need you to pull the sled. One more time. And we've all done sleds, right? But do we do it with the intent of what we're missing? What we're missing is being able to move our feet quickly and push off the ground. Be aggressive. This is a flat Excel. So we did a contrast, I guess, this day. He went sled, took the sled off, and then we went to an open push on the sidewalk. I'm not a fan of the concrete, but it works. It's a firm, stable surface. Yeah, a little bit more shock to the shins, but as long as we monitor it, I think we'll be okay. You can see how big he's pushing there. Nice, open, and violent. I love it. I'm a big fan of this. Hip extended. Look at that. Now, I would love to see that out the blocks from him from that last video we just saw. Anyway, happy for him down in Houston at the moment. Hoping to post some videos when the season rolls around about how he's progressing. Bang, 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 bang. Look at those arms too. Love it. All right. And then we do the sleds with upright runs now, where the force is behind us still, but we're trying to stay tall with the sled. My favorite thing about sprinting is like the formula it kind of breaks down to, right? It's stride frequency, stride length, all those good things, right? So this was us working on our stride length. My cue for Jalen was, hey, I need you to push down to the ground. You're in upright position. I want you to also think about making the sled bounce off the ground. Two different emphasis, but the same focus. Make the sled bounce. Put enough force that sled is moving behind you as you're pushing downward. That's the amount of force I need you to apply. We did some traditional strength training as well. Let me see if I can find the video. Yeah, this one sucks because I got it right at the end. There's really not much to show here, but we did a lot of like trap bar deadlifts and Kaiser squats and back squats, that kind of thing. We just got him strong as heck because you can't go wrong. Just being as fast as he already was, 10.5 PR in high school, put some strength on that with some good mechanics, and everything should be moving in the right direction, which is what ended up happening his sophomore year. So this is obviously the summer before his sophomore year. Not obviously, but this is the summer before his sophomore year. He went back to school, 670 PR indoor, 2130 indoor, 2051 as I showed you on his T-First account, 2051, 1024 as his outdoor best, and then he jumped in the portal. So, you know, running fast, getting to that 6'7" mark helped him and can help you guys as well. Last but not least is Josiah Rogers. So Josiah was the one of the first athletes I worked with, when I moved to Indiana, I started coaching at Park Tudor High School, private school, just north of Broad Ripple. And Josiah was on the team. I didn't necessarily work with him, but he was on the team. That's how he and I connected. Our paths connected. And this stuff is like almost divine sometimes, dude. It's crazy how life works. But Josiah and I end up working together his junior year, the end of his junior year after he didn't make it to the state meet. And he's like, this is a pain I never want to feel again. Pardon me. He made it to the state meet. Josiah and I started working together after his junior year. At the state meet his junior year, he didn't make the final, and he wanted to change. And we have a really great documentary about him. I'll link it here for you guys, or put it in the comments or the description. But we talked about his journey and kind of how our paths interlocking or intertwining created something as beautiful as the season that he had his senior year. So I want to talk about how senior year was for him and the performances that he ended up having. Yes, filmed on a toaster, but that's Josiah and that's Jalen that we just watched just now. This is before Jalen joined us. Elijah was trying to get that guy to join us for a minute.
Great athletes all around, so looking for some great times out of this race as well. Let's see what the top time in the nation is right now. For the state, excuse me. We've got Braylon Grady with a 6:95. They're off. Ooh, that's close. I think I is lane 4.
I had to put that video into a database or a video editing software just to see what the time would be, and it came out to about 6:76. And I was like, man, I really wish we had that on camera or had that official. Part of me, I really wish we had that official. I'm happy we didn't, because it forced him to execute better. And I want to show you his 6:68 race. Here we go. The drive phase. All right, so the drive phase was long. He's patient. He's driving. He's pushing. Let's go. We go for. Nope, that's not what we want. So Josiah's now at IU. This is now his home track. Again, that's him in the white. He starts running from the ground. Arms are moving. He's a little bit flat with the back, but that's okay. When he pushes, he gets off the ground and allows his leg to recover, gets to that figure 4 position really well. Look at that. Tight. Tight. Look at that. And he just keeps going with it. Back then, it wasn't anything I specifically coached. Because just like when you're pedaling a bike, and this is the analogy I give to the kids now, when you're pedaling a bike, if you push down hard enough, that foot recovers naturally. And most times, most kids have the issue of proper force output, right? So the foot doesn't ever extend to the ground hard enough, and then you pay for it with how the foot recovers on the backside. You can even see his last couple steps. Look at that, that's money. That's money. The last couple steps, he starts to like over-rotate, or he just stops running. What would this record have been? A 6:65? He also did no block starts before this meet started, which was also crazy because he broke the meet record in the prelim Ran 670 something in the prelim and then 668 in the final. Anyway, one more time. Head and shoulders above your competition. This is some just weight room clips. This is him with 135 doing like a clean shrug. His technique was a lot better than Elijah's. Just working on that extension. This is him on the treadmill. This is the treadmill I was talking about. This is probably not, you're probably not going to see like an 18.6 out of him here, but might be like a low 18, who knows. Oh. But we're trying to hold on. Hold on. But let me not get no copyright strike. Hold up. Shout out to Zay. Zay and Josiah were high school teammates for a year. Zay's at Purdue now. Let's go back to Josiah here. So hang clean, a little deeper on the catch than expected, but it worked. This is him box jumping. This will be 63 inches. And flexing on the group. I think people told him he couldn't do it. Two-foot running. He was flexing hard. All right. 1, 2, I guess 3 steps maybe. Yeah. That's power. I like that. Beautiful. Last but not least, so there's another video here. Look at this. Vertical jump. Standing 28, which is one of the higher reps that we had. Some people are like, I jumped 40. Yeah, BS. Your system sucks or it's inconsistent. So jump. Bro. Look at that. You're being that high off the ground. Stop it. Saying you jump 40 inches off the vert. Crazy. Crazy. Anyway, that's my 6-7 method for you guys. In quick review, you fall into one of two buckets. Block, bully, top end demon. If you're a top end demon, I need you to run well under sub 9.5, close to sub 9.2 or faster in that fly 10. We're looking for 2.95 comfortably in that fly 30, 18.5 on the miles per hour on the treadmill. We're looking for block bullies to be big squatters. 315 is the very least, very least, preferably 365 or close to it. 225 on the power clean, box jump of 60 inches like you saw from those two guys, Josiah and Elijah. Being in one of these two buckets doesn't mean that you're absolved from the mental side of this. You gotta have that desire to win. You gotta get through the line. You gotta fight when you think the race is over, because you know that might be when your best time comes. When you are behind and you gotta chase someone down, using your speed, using your technique. Technique, with that being said, is not a limiting factor. As you saw, 4 guys that are pretty raw, didn't have the best mechanics, but they got the job done and they ran that time. All right. I hope this helps you guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Until the next one, happy Halloween. Peace.